Welcome to On Location Dawson Creek. I'm your host with the most. The host makes you want to turn on the program whenever you hear my beautiful voice. Speaking of beautiful voices, we have a beautiful voice in front of me. Grizz Longley, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Grady. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
And we're kind of twinning here today, and that's on purpose. You know why, Grizz?
No.
I want to make a change to my career.
Ooh.
I love being a filmmaker. I love being a host. But you know what? What I would love to do, I would love to be a radio DJ.
That's exciting!
Right? And so I dressed up in the way I know how. I put on the little hat like you did.
Yeah.
And I also brought a vest. And I think it kind of works. What do you think?
I think that you look like you're going to serve me up some chicken nuggets, which is good.
Which is a good thing.
Because that's exactly what media is. It's food for the mind, right?
Right.
So I think that's good. But just remember, I stopped being a radio broadcaster and became a plumber because that's where the dough is. Right?
That is where the dough.
So with your rig out here, you could join my plumbing company and we could go and investigate paranormal areas.
Can I still wear the vest though?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
Why not?
And I understand that you have moved on from being on air and you're now working as a tradesman, which you've done for almost all your life.
Yeah.
But I want to kind of use this interview to kind of, for my own selfish desires, so that I can investigate and figure out how I can become a radio DJ, just like my hero, Grizz Longley.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Well, not really, but I will because I like you and respect you.
Why do you do that?
Well, because you're just such a go-getter. You're an up-and-coming, moving force in the Peace Country. You're the most prolific film auteur for the last 10 years in Dawson Creek. Well, let me take it. I know you're being self-effacing, but for a person to go from an idea to actually doing things, that is so refreshing. I like doers, right? I like finishers. I'm never a good finisher. My wife always tells me that. But like, you know, from projects and things like that, I have never met someone with the intestinal fortitude to carry forward something that is such a collaborative, so many parts moving idea like a film and actually get it all together and actually put out a product that's amazing, right? So kudos to you. You're already there. You don't even need radio. Radio's dead.
Radio's dead. Oh, but it has that allure, right? Which brings me to my first question, actually, Grizz, because your real name isn't Grizz Michaels, as people know and love you as. Where did the name Grizz Michaels come from? Okay,
so back in the day, there was some like the radio station I worked at here in Dawson Creek for many years, changed ownership several times, and they keep doing that. Whatever, it's whatever. Yeah. But when they did that, that allowed opportunities for different branding. And one of the things that radio's great for is branding, right? And they like to do that all the time. Yeah. So they had a classic rock station that happened in Fort St. John, and they changed it from, oh, I can't even remember, it's so long ago. They changed it to the Bear. And they didn't tell anybody who was going to be the morning show guy for a long time. And then when they finally did it, it was like at a party at On the Rocks. They made it like a big deal. And so they announced that I was going to do it. And I had no idea. I was already 3 cups in when they announced it, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing that now. Right. And then finally, because there was a tradition in Edmonton where the brand actually kind of started, of the program director picking the announcers' names, like some of the guys I thought were hilarious, like Park Warden. There was a whole bunch of names that were silly. Jack Daniels, Miles Long, all of those DJ-y kind of goof names came out of the actual program director. We didn't have a program director or a brand manager at the time. So what we did was we had a little contest, and it was actually Katie Bull who came up with that name. Katie Bull used to work at the Co-op as their media person. I'm not sure where she is right now, but great gal, worked radio for years. But hers was funny because it was like she always was there as the newsie before I'd had my caffeine in the morning. So I'm a little bit grouchy in the morning when I come in. And she's just like, you are a Grizzy M thing, and I was like, that's freaking perfect, right? Because it fits. And so that's how I got the name, was Grizz Michaels. I just took my middle name and put the Grizz in front of it.
And put it in front of it.
Yep.
And now, so that explains kind of the origins of your name. And now I want to kind of go a bit back before you were in Dawson Creek. And for those of you who don't know, you're actually Debbie Longley's husband, who we interviewed the first episode.
It's true. I really prefer that she's my wife.
Yes.
But, you know, Possession, whatever. Whatever. No, I'll take it. Deb Longley is a fantastic lady.
You talk about forces in the industry and forces in the peace region.
She's massive, right? And I think she's like an underappreciated member of this community. Like she does so much, right? But whatever, you know. They can watch your stream with her and find out all of the cool things that she's done.
Which are numerous.
Oh God, I can't even, when we moved here in 2001, the first musical that Debbie did was Camelot. And that was because they'd already, you know, Fred had already set it all up and everything. And so she did it and it was a banger, it was great. And then since then, it's got to be like 30 or 40 musicals she's done. Not just the high school stuff, but things that she's done outside of that. And I'm just amazed because you can go to a show in Vancouver, you can go to a show in Toronto, and you're going to see a better musical here with the local talent we have in Dawson Creek than you would see in some of those bigger places. And that's not to dirt them. What that's to do is shine the light on what we have here, right? Like, I mean, I know people that have gone to see, well, for instance, like The Little Mermaid in a bigger market. They say that, and this is not me, they come back and say, hey, Debbie's show was better. Or, you know, what Rocky Horror Picture Show. Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Where else are you going to see stuff like that in northern British Columbia? Nowhere, except here. And that's all because of her. Right. So I'm just happy to be tagging along with her.
And speaking of tagging along, you guys moved here because of her, right?
Oh yeah, totally. I was watching the stream that she was on and she was like, yeah, Corey kind of, it's not true. I dragged her down to the interview. I actually I threw her in the car, basically, and said, let's go. This is the thing. You should go. Pulled up to the front of the hotel where the school division was doing their job fair. Go in. She's like, I don't have anything. What kind of, they're not going to hire me. Negative self-talk, right? And I'm like, look, you just did James and the Giant Peach. You did costumes for that. You still have all your books with all your diagrams and pictures and set design. Take that in. That's all you need, right? And sure enough, they flew her up to Dawson Creek, and she got to see the old gal on Chaga, and
the rest was history.
The rest is history, and beautiful history.
Right. And where did you guys come from? Sorry.
We came from Saskatoon. We were there, and Debbie was doing some community theater, mostly working with daycares, and then she was subbing a lot, which you know what that's like. So yeah, it was fantastic, and I was kind of doing whatever. I think at the time. What was I? Oh, I was going to university. I was at the University of Saskatchewan taking political science.
Political science.
Yeah, and drama.
And drama as well, which both, you know, you would continue on in your life a bit later down the line. But when you guys moved to Dawson Creek, for example, like, what was your first experience and impressions of it coming into a town? Because Saskatoon is much bigger than Dawson.
Oh, huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Saskatoon's a big city.
And you come to a smaller town like Dawson Creek. What was that experience like, and what were your first impressions kind of coming in?
Well, it's funny because we moved relatively quickly, loaded everything up into the U-Hauls and hit the highway. I just remember being so tired. We only had one little one. Megan was with us at the time. And when I drove past Saskatoon Lake, I almost crapped my pants because I'm like, didn't we just leave Saskatoon like 6 hours ago? That's how, it was like, oh my God, are we gonna make it or not? And then when we got here, I was really surprised because, oh, British Columbia, there's gonna be a frickin' ocean. There's gonna be, I'm gonna be able to surf. I'll be able to eat all the granola I want and maybe enjoy 420. And then we moved here, and my goodness, this place is farther right than most of the whole province of Saskatchewan. I mean, yeah, their premier is a drunk driver who killed somebody. Whatever, we're not quite there yet. But wow, when we got here, I was like, that's rapeseed. I know what that is. That's grain over there. Because you come from Saskatchewan, that's what it is, right?
It reminded you of home in a way?
Absolutely it did, and it was a little bit less intimidating. Like, I can only speak for me, moving here than maybe if I was in a Vancouver or Victoria or whatever, right? It was very agrarian, and it still is, right? So it was a little bit of a relief, right? Like I see these big, tall, giant buildings that have art galleries in them now, and I know how those work because you come from Saskatchewan, you see what it is. A lot of people here are still farming, so. kind of cool, really.
Right, right. And so, you know, even going further back, you talked about taking political science and drama in university. Where do those interests lie? Because again, as I said, those continue on. Where did the interest for stage and filmmaking and also the political side of things, where did those kind of start from?
Oh, okay. Well, you got to go back to the theater part because I took that starting in high school. And this is funny. I actually won a showcase award in Saskatchewan. The show we did was, or no, the monologue I did was for Juvie. The show that I won for was Charlie the Chicken. And I actually had to learn some Hungarian for that.
Really?
And out of all the high schools that were involved in this showcase, I won Best Actor.
Wow.
So I was like, pretty sweet. And then they sent me off to Toronto and I got to see a bunch of shows, Niagara, all this cool stuff, stuff that feeds your soul and your mind. And so just always kind of been there, a storyteller. I love doing that. I love sharing with people. The politics stuff came in mainly because I have people in my family that deserve rights. And they deserve to be acknowledged as human beings and have the same rights that you and I and everybody else in the province has. And the political party at the time, pick your name, they've changed it so many times, decided that my family members were not allowed to be that, or that they should be changed, or that they should get electrical shock. All of these things. So I don't like bullies.
Right.
So what I would do is my best to either speak out against them, and I would try to do that on my radio show, but it's a popular radio show. You can't do that. My bosses wouldn't like that. So what I would do is I would step back from that and I would run. Let's see how many times I've run for office. 2007, I ran for city council here. That was the same year that I won Citizen of the Year in Dawson Creek. And then I've run in 2 political provincial campaigns and 2 federal, which you guys helped out with a little bit on the last one. So look, here's the thing. There's always people that come up to me and say, well, I'm not political. Like there's something to be proud of about that. And I would say shame. Shame on you. Because your boss is, your landlord is, everybody that has a step above you or has a pathway to wealth, they are. So as a person that was running for the NDP, I want to equalize that. I want to make it so that everybody is treated equally here. And I mean, we could go on for hours on that, but that's where the political stuff came from. When people are trying to, like, if you want to do comedy, I always prefer punching up, right? And to me, politics sometimes is comedy. But a lot of the parties that we have that are on the right of center, which is like way farther right than it used to be, they punch down. Right. Unacceptable, right? People are human beings, they have needs, and you don't need to be judgmental about certain things. Just treat them as human beings.
Right. And you found that the way to kind of combat what you call like bullying and punching down is to try and enact change yourself. Absolutely, and become the target. Right? If I can take animosity and adversity away from another group of people, I'll do that. I got broad shoulders, I can take it, right? So bring it on, right? I mean, it was funny. We were in Chetwynd for, I can't remember which campaign it was. I want to say it was provincial. And I had people threatening me over Facebook because I had posted, I'm going to be at the library, come down and talk to me, right? And of course, nobody came because I'm NDP. But I had death threats on the post that we had. So it's just like, really? You're so lazy that you have to threaten me on Facebook. You can't even be bothered to drive 2 minutes to come and threaten me in person? So I was like, how serious are you? You're not even, whatever. Go away. For sure. Your friends are looking at the page going, oh, he's pretty cool. He's threatening that Grizz Michaels guy. Well, come down. Talk. And maybe you'll learn something. Was that recent? That was the previous provincial campaign, I believe. Okay. So that was relatively recent. Have you found that, political discourse and, people that are on opposite ends of the spectrum, like that's gotten worse? Oh, yeah. Over the decade. Well, it's tribal now. It used to be... Because I don't know anything other than that, because that's when I got That's where you're at, right? But back in the day, say in the 80s or so, you could have somebody that you would call a red liberal,
voting for the NDP. You could have somebody that was a blue liberal, and because I'm picking the liberal because they're sort of in the middle, or they were in the middle of the spectrum. You can have liberals that would vote for the PC party.
Right.
You don't see that much anymore, right? You got crazy parties like the UCP, One BC. Like, these parties are ridiculous, and they're divisive, and they, again, punching down 90% of the time when they're take away the rights from this group. Well, that's fascism. That's what it boils down to. When you other someone, or you take away their powers of self-determination, that is totally what
You're all good. Yo, please go ahead.
No, you're good. I like their hats. How'd you get? I like her hat. Can we get that hat?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Sorry, guys.
No.
No, we usually put our, but we can put our stuff out there.
Or
No, you're all good. Thank you so much.
No, you're good. We went through your pockets already.
Yeah, thank you. No, we didn't. He's lying.
No,
thank you.
I didn't. No.
What you were saying.
So that's kind of where I'm at on that one. It's like, there's a lot of people that, for whatever reason, they're afraid, or they're worried about their standing in the community, or they don't want to make noise. I don't mind standing up for those people at all, because the only thing I have to lose is nothing. Right?
And you were talking as well in regards to, I think last time you ran, I said you were a politician. You said, no, I'm an activist.
That's right.
And what's the difference there for you?
Well, the way I would define it is a politician is someone who's been elected, right? So you have to actually be elected to be a politician. You're getting a paycheck. It's like the difference between the Olympics and a professional hockey player or whatever. You're being paid to do that job. And that job is to represent your community, whatever their needs are, which is why I run all the time, because I don't think the guys that are elected are actually representing anybody. They're not, other than their own personal little nugget of interest, right? An activist is someone that is pushing forward, trying to make changes by having ideas to give over to the politicians, right? You're trying to make a difference outside of that political system if you can. And I would say that a lot of my activism comes from being the president of a local union, right? Because that every day is a struggle when you're trying to represent your members in their interests with the employer, and also to bring issues forward to the government, because the government really legislates, depending on where you are, provincially or federally, what the labor laws are.
Right.
And I mean, if we left it up to the guys that are running the show right now, you'd still have padlocks on the exits of doors. You would still be working 12 hours a day. You'd be saying bye to your kids that are covered in coal as we send them down into a hole. The only time that power gives anything back is when it's challenged. And that's why we constantly need to be challenging the status quo. Otherwise, we see no progressive things happening, right? So I don't know anybody who wants to give up a weekend. You got that because of activism. That's labor that got you that, right? Everybody forgets it. Right? They forget, because maybe they weren't in the struggle, or they didn't know someone who died, or in the fight. We forget it, and we take it for granted. We're very comfortable here. Yeah, right. And speaking of a kind of being comfortable, you're working as a radio DJ, and also you're a passionate activist, and you have things that you want to work towards and goals you want to work towards. Do those ever butt heads in terms of, like, I can't talk about what I really want to talk about sometimes on air, whereas you're already smiling, so I know it's going to be a great answer. I don't want to dirt anybody. I think, look, here's the thing. Conservatives, I should say conservatives, that's the right hand, and the lefties, like everybody's, oh, you're NDP. Actually, you can't go any farther left than the NDP right now. I would be over here, right? I would be almost at the point of chucking little anarchist kind of bomb things. But the NDP is the bus that gets me closest to where I can go politically on the spectrum here in Canada and in this province. So, yeah, there's lots of times I'll get somebody who, I don't want to name names, but maybe I could. I don't know. If they were previous MLAs and they did stuff like, I don't know, don't. I just disagree with them. And sometimes I would put together a little funny thing that I thought was a funny package, which you can find there online. And I would, invite people to look. Just look for yourself. Like, I'm not making this up. When I can point to an MLA or an MP that is on the record voting against children having a hot lunch or against your health care, like dental care, or something that the NDP just brought out now so that I don't have to pay for my diabetes medication. You've got guys that are actually doing that. And it's not because of what they say it is, or oh, I didn't like the way the bill was worded. That's ridiculous. That's like saying, oh yeah, you've got radiation in your basement. I don't like the way your house is built, so we won't remediate that. We won't fix it. It's a crock of crap. And what it is to protect their interests that are making money. Like, follow the dough. That's all you have to do. Most cases, follow the money. Who's investing in this? Who is the one that's lobbying the most? That's all you have to do. And I would argue that the peace country has been ill-served for the time. I was joking with you about this earlier. Today is the 26th. For people who are paying attention, that is the annual which bridge? The Taylor Bridge Day. Because you wash it, then you can see how bad it is, how awful it is. And there's lots of, well, why don't we have a new bridge? That's an excellent question. You should ask the Conservatives that have been in power for 60 years in the peace country as to why we don't have a new bridge. Right? Dawson Creek, brand new hospital. Why? NDP government. Like, to me, it's like, why do you shoot yourself in your nether regions to be ideological when what you could be doing is, who cares who it is? If they're going to bring something in that betters the community, do that. Right? Like, I don't get that mental attitude. If the Conservatives were coming in and they were saying things, hell, we're going to build 5 bridges and we're going to repave all the roads, I'll vote for them. Right? Because usually what happens up here is a lot of people are saying, well, we don't vote by party, we vote for the person, which is a lie. It's a lie. Right? You could put, and I've actually had Conservative politicians tell me this, I could put a Conservative sticker on a hay bale and that would get votes. And in fact, some elections, although unproven, that has happened. That's not true. I'm making
very explosive.
But it's a thing, right? And you could tell that. I mean, if you just looked at what happened with our last MLA, previous to whoever the guy is now, I can't remember his name. That's how effective he is. The previous guy figured he'd run as an independent, and he'd get back in because of all the hard work he's done, and everyone will love him, and he got blown out because of that capital C beside the other guy's unknown name. That just tells you that there's a problem here, and maybe people need to be more introspective and think about what they need.
Yeah, absolutely. And so your time with radio, how long did that last for when you got that first position where you were Grizz Michaels to when you eventually left? Well,
see, I wasn't Grizz Michaels at the first position because I actually did media market radio first. I got hired for my first radio gig. It was an overnight, which they don't do anymore. That's a good place to learn your skill because you had to do all kinds of stuff. You would do your show and you're entertaining basically night walkers and cab drivers and guys who are in the donut shop overnight. Hard audience. But they like you if you're good, and you get like lifetime fans. And you're also preparing for the morning show guys, so I'm pulling physical media that's taller than me and bringing it into the studio and learning all that kind of stuff. But that was the first paying gig, was Sun 102 FM. Doesn't exist anymore. It changed to a classic rock station at some point. But they played everything. They played like religious music. We played crystal handling music. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's very zen. Yeah, it's like Zen kind of music or whatever, right? New Age, I guess would be the closest thing to be. So my crazy wild rock time would be playing an AC Elton John song, blow everybody's minds. Tiny Dancer.
Tiny Dancer.
Oh, it's controversial, right? Because that interfered with my handling of my amber rocks while I was changing my chakra alignment, listening to the show. Anyway, and then after that one, where was I? Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, Power 99. That was awesome. Had a great time there because that was a super rock station. We had fun. I actually played Bare Naked Ladies cuts off of the actual cassette that they...
That's how long ago it was.
That's how long ago it was. I used to do request show, and that was all on reel-to-reel because we didn't do any digital at the time.
Yeah.
Digital was still new in the bigger markets.
Yeah.
So you'd have to record the call. This is within 3 minutes of a song. Whoop, 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 whoop. Make your cuts, put it back together with the tape, play the call, and then play the song. So I learned about editing physical media like immediately in my career, right? So that's why when I'm looking at digital audio stuff and how you can edit and cut things, I'm like, oh my God, this is so easy. Now, what? I know.
Do you think that discipline that you learned cutting with physical tape and cutting, like that without the advent of digital, do you think that gave you a skill that's lost today?
Absolutely. Because a lot of the times when you're doing, you don't have many opportunities to have a live show anymore.
No.
Where you have to do that. So you have pressure. Like no matter what, now, again, this is coming from a guy who used to be able to smoke cigarettes in the control room.
Yeah.
That's how old I am.
Right.
But if you don't have that call ready to go, that mic still has to come on.
Yeah.
Right? It's like back in the day, DJs used to have common dreams. And this is funny because you can ask any radio DJ, they'll have the same dream where you're at nighttime and you're panicking because there's nothing queued up and you're naked. Or the CDs that you grabbed were all the wrong ones. And you're sitting there and the mic it's counting down. You can't do, and then I had so many of those dreams where it was like, what am I even going to say? What am I going to talk about? Blah, 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 blah. And that kind of pressure, well, you know this just from filmmaking.
Yeah.
When you are given every possible tool that you can have in the universe, all the money that you need, the famous actor, whatever, it's not oftentimes a great film. If you peel that back and what your resources are and what you have to pre-plan and do everything else, innovation brings up a huge quality to that, whatever you're making.
Right.
Whether it's a radio show, a poem, a film, right? When you have to think around corners, that makes you more creative, and most likely it's going to be something that no one else has seen before because they're not in the same crunch.
Right.
Right? So yeah, I think it's a huge thing. And I really lament the days where, I was getting paid crap when I did overnights, right? You're doing it because it's an investment in yourself. It's like when you're an apprentice. I know that I'm not making a whole bunch of money now, and I'm doing all the scut work, and I'm doing all of these things. So my process for anything like that was take the crappiest job that is in the shop, do it. Do it 17 times until you learn how to do it the easiest possible way, the quickest possible way. Then you're bulletproof, right? Because no matter what happens, somebody tries to get you down by saying, oh, you're going to crawl in there and do it. Yep, done. Next, right? Because you've mastered that, and you don't have to have all the heavy, I hate crawl spaces and bugs taste funny and blah, blah, blah. Once you get over it and you find out how delicious they are and you're in there and out, that's when things start to go your way. Because then the people that are hiring you or looking at you for those jobs go, this guy's, he'll do anything. He'll do what it takes to get the job done, right? And not whine about it or check on his phone for 10 hours to find out an easier way to just frickin' do it. And then it's done.
Then it's done. Was that adage kind of you took throughout your career?
Oh yeah, both in radio and plumbing. That's the kind of guy I am. The worse the job, not the more I want it, but the more I know I should take it. Because those challenges, once you've mastered them, there's nothing to fear. No. Right? It's like, just be honest. And then there's nothing to fear. Right. So, yeah.
Yeah, no. And that's so interesting, too, because we talked with a bodybuilder named Todd last episode, and he had this adage of embrace the suck.
100%.
Embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck. And then if you can elevate the suck to a point where it's like not repulsive or hard, you've taken mental weight off yourself to do that, and just like, this is the regular. It's not suck. This is normal.
This is normal.
This is an enjoyable day. Right. Right. So if you can do that, I'm not saying that I don't have days that totally suck. There's lots. Right. But I found that it gives me a little bit of mental flexibility, right? Because when I was a younger man, I did suffer from depression. I would sleep for days on end. I would have all of these things because I was kind of directionless. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was working in media then. But embracing the suck, knowing that I have to do a 6-hour shift overnight, doing all of those things, making prep work for the guy who's following me so that he shines because he's topical.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no advantage to me to do that other than our station might be better.
Yeah.
But I would do that because if I didn't, he would suck more. Right? And I don't want that. I want the guy following me to have like something cool to talk about or whatever. And it was funny because Don Rose used to say, how come you're leaving me all these prep sheets? And he goes, you don't think my show is good enough? And I would, rookie guy, I'd be like, no, you could do this, or you could, no offense, but here's what we do. If we're going to do positive coaching and we're going to do like positive reinforcement, even though I had no right to do it because he's like big time morning DJ and I'm overnight schlep.
Yeah.
But I would say things like, I'd really think it was funny if you did this. Your voice is so awesome. Why aren't you doing that? You know, those kinds of things. But yeah. And then I appreciated when people would do that for me.
Right. Right. Bringing the elevator down.
Well, yeah. Or, you know, bringing the content up. Right? Like, whatever. Well, again, it goes punching down or punching up. Which one are you going to choose?
Right.
All the great comedians, all the great communicators, they punch up. Everybody else punches down. That's easy. Right? That's easy. It's easy to tear something down. That's the simplest thing you can do. Building something from nothing, that's the hardest work you're going to ever do, because most of the times when you're building it, you won't see the success of that until years later. Right?
Right. No, and that makes total sense. And then, you know, you're working at the CJDC station as a radio DJ.
Yep. TV too. They had me do everything there.
Were you a news anchor?
What did I do? Okay, so I didn't get finished. Let's go Prince Albert, Power 99, radio show there.
Yes.
The next one I think I did was Medicine Hat, My 96, which was kind of a contemporary poppy kind of thing, which is not my bag, but whatever. Yeah. If you're a good announcer, you can do any of those. It doesn't, format doesn't matter.
And I'm going to interrupt you one more time, but what makes a good announcer? Flexibility, ability to create content or interest in something that's happening in your community. That's what I like. A lot of the new DJs, they want to be, and I'm dating myself, Howard Stern. They want to be a shock jock. They want to, you know, shake up the, you don't need to do that. Yeah. If you wanted to do something cool like that, is take tea parties. Take things that are happening around your community that are boring, turn them into something that are not boring or doesn't sound boring. Right? I used to do stuff like all the time, like, okay, so this goes to talking about raw chicken being sold at certain stores. Yeah. Like, who does that? Raw chicken? I can't eat that. I'll get whatever raw chickenness or whatever. Yeah. The store sells raw chicken. That's not, but people hear that and they're like, what? Oh, I'm outraged. Now they're listening to the show, right? If you talk about tea parties and you talk about, well, I don't know what kind of tea they have there. Is it the kind that, you know, made with mushrooms, whatever? That's not me saying factually that they're going to get you stoned if you go to Mrs. Johnson's 25th annual tea party. Right. But you're going to listen. Right. Because you heard that. I used to get that all the time. Back in the day, when there was a complaint, you're going to get probably, let's say you have 10 listeners. And you say something provocative, you're going to get at least 3 or 4 that phone in and complain. The other 6 love what you said. They think it's hilarious, or they're not bothered by it. Right. That's who I'm talking to. If you're going to call me and be the 4th in that 4, thanks for listening. Right. Make sure you're listening tomorrow, because I'm going to be more offensive. Right. And if you don't know how I'm going to be offensive, you're going to have to listen to find out. Right? Right. Because every phone call into that station, or for your live stream, or for whatever you're doing, you've hooked somebody. Right. Right? And what was that purpose of provocation? What was that for?
To make it different. Right? To make it so that the common things that are occurring in the community, which are fundraisers, tea parties, what have you, somebody from the big city is like, oh, that's so boring. When are we going to blow up a building? When are we going to have $1 million fireworks? We don't do that here. Right. But what we do is we'll have a fundraiser for someone who's stricken with cancer, or we'll try to come together as a community for an event like Tumbler Ridge. Yeah. Those kind of things. And if you can make it so that more people are like, huh? What? Most people in the community are like this. They're just a puppy sitting there licking whatever they want to lick. But if you can talk to them and go, what did he just say? What? Now they're thinking about it, and they may go to the fundraiser.
Right.
They may talk to their friends about, hey, we should go, right? And not because of altruism or any of those other things. Self-interest is always excellent, right? You could get a deal on a barbecue, or you could get some passes to go skiing. Those are the kind of things that fundraisers do. And if you can make it so people are like, what? What did you just say? Maybe you'll get 2 extra bodies out there and raise some more money, or people will be talking about it, right?
Right. And you were saying the other jobs, sorry, you were doing at CJDC.
Yeah, well, okay.
And for those who don't know, CJDC is what, sorry?
Yeah, it's a television station, and it was a radio station. They're changing everything now. They're 2 separate entities, right? But I went from My 96 to, I was in university at the same time. And then from there, we moved, oh my goodness, where did we even move? I can't even remember. The last big move was to Dawson Creek. And it was funny because I always drop off a tape, at least when I was a younger man. So you'd have a cassette, talk about ancient. And we lived up on the hill here. And I walked, the first day that I had where I woke up and I wasn't unpacking, walked down the hill, went in, and what was his name? Stevens. Stevens was the program director at the time. He wasn't available because he was doing a show. So I just dropped my tape off, and I said, hey, I'm in town. I'm looking for work. Whatever, you know, it's beer and pizza money is what I was looking for, not career. And I said, okay, just give this to Mr. Stevens, and maybe he'll give me a call back. Maybe he won't. Who knows? But I mean, how fortuitous that this small community has a radio station. I can do that. By the time I'd gone from the front door of the radio station to walk up the hill, he'd already called me and said, come in. Let's have a conversation or whatever. And then I just started doing middays and then everything. They were doing voice tracking for the 2 other stations that were existing up in Fort St. John. And then I really wanted to, because I'd done television before, I was like, let me help out with the TV side, because we actually had really good programming for a period of time there, where we would get Thursday nights was science fiction night. So you get, I don't know, Stargate and Star Trek and all these other things. I would come in and I'd do bumpers or hits for it. Watch out for this in this episode. Where do you think this guy started? And I would give them little things like that, because entertainment was kind of fun and interesting. So I would take that and I would turn it into content for the show. And it went really, really successfully, I think. And there was no extra pay for that. That was just helping out, right? Because you know this from working in a small market. There's never enough bodies to get done what needs to be done. So if you can step into that, that's why I would suggest to anybody who's in radio college, or what are they calling it now, social media college, whatever, take the job in the small market, because you will learn everything. And then you'll be able to find out, I don't like doing sports. Like, that was the first thing I realized when I was working at CKBI, CIPA TV in Prince Albert. I have no interest in sports, right? Politics is my sport. And it's a blood sport. So that, to me, was far more interesting than who won a dorky hockey game. Like, I don't care, right? As soon as I found out how much hockey players were making when I was a young man, I was like, I could hire 6 teachers for that for 1 year. Why do I care? Again, bread and circuses, right?
And then you talk about radio, and for people that who are watching or listening to this, they might be a bit younger. For them, it sounds like an ancient way of doing things.
It is.
Do you think, is radio dead, do you think?
I hope not. Look, here's the thing. You could have the internet go down and you and I are gone. Poof, it's out. You could have the power go off. You and I are gone. You have a clear channel, 50,000 watt radio station running, anything can happen. And you can still have contact with your community. You know what's going on. Radio is the only place where it's instant and it reaches as many people as you have for power to power that amplifier. Right? That transmitter sends it out and you get it whether you want it or not. Right? I remember the days where you would, you see it coming now because it's like we have so many fires. That's a really good one that's present in everybody's mind. You got people that are on Facebook, what's happening here? That does not show up until 2 days later on your feed, depending on whenever Meta wants to put it up. Radio, like that. You call in your disc jockey, if they're live, they'll put that question out there for you, or at least I would, right? So we can get answers right now. Rolla Road is open, or the dam's flooding, or whatever. Instantaneous information, right? And the nice thing about it too is it used to be back in the day, those independent radio stations controlled themselves. You didn't have to worry about posting your crap on social. Where does the value go then, right? If you're a radio station, you're streaming on iHeartRadio or on the internet in any fashion. You don't control that. Who controls that? A middleman. Get rid of those clowns. I personally think that what we should do is empower communities by making, the CRTC should come forward and say, if you're a community broadcaster, you're not a mega company, go crazy. Go nuts. There should be way less licensing restrictions on that, because I firmly believe, with my talent and my experience, I could start a radio station terrestrially and I could make money right now. If I was free to sell my advertising however I wanted to and to whoever I wanted to.
So you think they should be separate, like
I think that why not call it legacy media? They do that anyway and make the requirements less, because you don't, well, if what Meta and all these other big companies are saying, because they're liars about nobody consumes this media anymore. Well, why? Because you guys are parceling it off and putting it in the background, right? The other thing is too, the local media stations, they need to hire people with actual personalities, right? That used to be what it was. DJs were like from the 50s and the 60s because they had personality. Then they moved to personalities. Then it was announcer. You need to have that personality because everybody wants to wake. I remember I used to get phone calls at home if I slept in. And that happens. You're going on at 5:30 in the morning. Sometimes you sleep in. I got phone calls on my personal phone, landline. Hey, Grizz, where are you? I missed the birthday line. Clothes kind of go on, run down to the station, and away you go. That was a thing because listeners cared. They were getting information. The birthday line. Why doesn't anybody do the birthday line anymore? That stupid thing used to get more listeners than anything else. And why? It's local. You get before you got Facebook birthdays and all that crap. I used to have listeners that would phone in and they would give me a list of 20 names of people because they kept track, right? And that's the community doing stuff, not an algorithm, right?
Those were the old days. That
was the old days. And you can still find, it's funny because in the United States, they realize they're going to lose a lot of money in radio media advertising if new car companies just put in Apple Play or AirPlay or whatever the hell it is in the car, because you're getting rid of the AM and FM broadcasts. I would argue strongly that AM should be something that is grandfathered in there. And if you want to start up a transmitter, as long as you're not interfering with anybody else, have at it. Because that is a community asset. Those people that are like, oh, emergency planning for fires and flooding. What are we going to do? Start up an AM radio station. That's the simplest thing to do. Man it. Maybe only man it during fire season. Whatever. But then you've definitely got a way to communicate what's happening. People want to know, is this thing burning still? Or can we get into our houses? Whatever. That's the way to do it. Immediacy, right?
100%. Immediacy. And kind of shifting gears a little bit and talking about Debbie.
Oh, she's awesome. I'll talk about her all day.
As you should. She's fantastic. So you've actually helped in a number of her productions and stage productions as well. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Look, I'm wearing what I have right now because that's all I have. Most of my clothing gets taken into Anchaga and ends up being repurposed into a costume. I don't know what that says about me. Misshapen or something or whatever. But yeah, like I've lost, well, I think you wore a trench coat.
I still have it.
Doctor's lab coat, like all of these things that I had that were my monkey heads. I had like these cool animatronic, because sometimes I'll see something and I'll just press buy. There was these animatronic monkey heads that you could get, 2/3 the size or whatever. But they were cool because I wanted to take one apart and see how it all worked and everything. And so that monkey head ended up being a major prop in Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I think it's been used in several other evil doctor kind of things. So it's funny, I'll end up buying this thing, I get to play with it for 10 minutes, and away she goes to Onchaga. So,
well, you've also built sets, or helped build sets in the past.
Yeah. Well, one of my biggest disappointments was that I didn't get it to make it rain in Onchaga. Yeah. Because I had a plan, and it would have worked. But we had some people that were a little risk averse, which is fine. And in a way, it turned out okay too, because then you guys were able to shoot in beautiful Dawson Creek. We have so many great places that you can shoot here, which you know. And we made some good choices. Again, adversity, giving good choices and opportunities. Yeah. I remember watching that show because I went to go watch, I go to every one that she does if I can. But going from, I think it was Cody, going on stage live, and then the transfer to that outside movie part, oh my God. Like, talk about fantastic productions. Right? Again, this goes to the thing. Come to see her shows because they're better than what you're gonna see in Western Canada at most theaters. I agree. Like, she's just insanely talented. I don't bug her, but I keep saying, you know, when you retire, go teach at the university. Or let's start our own production company, because that knowledge that she has, and it's so funny because new people will come into the program and they don't know. Yeah. They don't know that she's like a wealth of stuff. And you could be sitting there for 16 hours, kind of, how am I gonna make this monkey's eyeball pop out or make this person sing? And she's sitting right there. You could ask her and she'll know. All the problems of that particular moment for you disappear because she has the experience and the knowledge, and chances are if it's done on stage, she's done it several times. Right. And what's that like, working with someone that's not only has that wealth of knowledge, but is also your partner in this collaborative environment? Well, that's a problem for me, because sometimes I'm not as collaborative as I want to be. I'm always working on that. I'm not perfect. Right. And sometimes I'm obnoxious and I want to be the guy who has the idea. Sometimes. Can I give the finger? Is that counted? No. You're 100% right. I do. I have a very powerful personality, and sometimes, most times, I steamroller people, and that's not collaborative. But working with her has actually led to some introspection and pulled me into a more collab. I wouldn't say I'm perfect yet. I'm not. Yeah. Because I ran a one-guy show for like over 20 years. Right? You had one singular vision, right? And then you have all these different... Yeah, it's not even that. It's just that I was it. Right. If no one else called in or I didn't have a topic, this is it. This is what you get, right? So when I have to work with someone, like whether it's you and Ryan or Deb or whatever, I have to concentrate on that. I have to try to be on my best behavior for that. Right? And she's so awesome, like, it's crazy. One thing I am looking forward to is one of the things she wanted to do for the longest time is Misery as a show. Yes, the Stephen King. I keep saying to her, like, let's do it, right? Let's blow the doors down. One year we actually bought the rights to the show, and we just got too busy. She's already doing 2 musicals that year. I'm already traveling back and forth from whatever job. Would you play the James Caan part and she would play the Kathy Bates part? I want to gender flip it. Because I'm really nervous about giving my wife an actual sledgehammer around me. Right? I feel like I've been hit by Debbie on stage with a garden hoe. Oh, yeah. And I was totally fine. I think you could take a sledgehammer shot. I think I could. It depends on which one they do. If we do the movie one, where I believe they cut James Caan's feet off. In the movie, they hit him. They hit him. In the stage, they cut him. Like, I like special effects. I'd love working on that. But at the end of the day, I'm not really scared of her. What's she going to do? Worst thing she could do is stay married to me. Yeah, for her benefit, it would be in her benefit to leave. That's completely true. Or hit me a lot with a hammer. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's either a win-win. It's a win-win. Look, 6-7. One thing I've noticed is that if I get damaged in any significant way as part of fundraising, the money comes in. Hey, there we go. Right? When I was working for the radio station and we used to do the radio marathon, we made hundreds of thousands of dollars because I was willing to have articles of hair removed from my body, right? Head shaved, half the beard, one eyebrow, waxing. My nipples actually bled that one time when we did the waxing thing,
sucks.
because when they placed the sticky junk, they actually placed it a little bit on top of where it had been previously waxed.
Yeah, it gets your nipples.
So that's because it's cold in here. But anyway, when they pulled the second one, I actually bled from my nipples. So,
And they say art doesn't take
well, dude, this is why I
sacrifice.
got Citizen of the Year. I'm the only person in this community that's
Why
willing
did
to
you get
bleed
Citizen?
from their nipples to raise money for.
Why did you
for
think you
people.
got Citizen of the Year in what year? 2007?
2007. And I think part of that was because the radio marathon was it was a huge deal, right? We would do 12 hours live on location. I would start at 6, we'd end at 6. We'd try to raise as much money as possible during that. And it would be things like for incubators for newborn babies that are born premature. Urinary pan heaters, like whatever the hospital didn't get through its regular funding, we would raise money for that. And so seriously, like I want to say that we were close when I was doing it, $500,000.
Wow.
That's just off the top of my head, but it was something like that. It was massive. I actually was on the board for the hospital foundation at one point, right? So I think that part of my community involvement, I saw a need. Nobody was stepping up, so I did, right?
Right.
It's not because I'm super altruistic. It's because there was a gap there and I felt that I could fill it.
Again, that activist streak.
That's right.
Right. Right. And that kind of continues on wherever you
Well,
are.
I'm hoping it does. I mean, I had to take a break after the last election. I just didn't look at anything. I didn't pay
It
attention
was
to
very
anything.
venomous.
I just wanted to disassociate from that sort of. It's only now that I'm starting to look at things and go, really? Really? All the conservatives in our province are trying to be more racist than the other conservatives? Like, I don't understand why that is your next stepping stone, is if you could out anti-Indigenous the next person. I don't get where that's coming from. So I see those things and they tweak me. And they make me go, maybe I should be coming out and calling this stuff out. I don't have a huge audience anymore, I don't. But I feel bad inside if I'm not saying something
not
else,
saying
right?
something where
If I'm not
you see it
leading
wrong.
by an example I think should be there,
Yeah.
I'll step in and I'll do that, right?
And you're also a filmmaker as well. We can't forget that. You have made a film. You're a filmmaker.
It was awful.
It wasn't. You're a filmmaker as well. Do you find...
It was going to be so good.
Why did you think it was awful? Okay,
Well-
explain to the audience.
Okay, so I did this small film. It was called The Amazing Dennis, and it was a great idea. It was part of a larger screenplay, and you guys were kind enough to put on an awesome, and I recommend this program, the adult filmmaking program that you guys put on.
Thank you.
Debbie and I signed up together, kind of as our date night thing, and it was cool that we could do that. My problem is I'm not a great planner. And one of the big things I found that if you're a filmmaker, you better come prepared.
Yeah.
You better step up. So having a shot list, doing all of these things that I never even thought about were part of it, because I'm used to
Show up.
flying off the handle,
Yep.
right? I come in, you give me a time, I fill that time with whatever is there. Whereas when you're making a film, because it is so collaborative, I need to have cast members have names. I need to make sure that this is the shot that I want. I need to do all of these things. And I mean, it wasn't horrible. I've seen worse, but it was not something at the end of the day that I would like, look at me, right? My cast was outstanding. I think the idea was good, but what I needed to work on was my execution. I don't know, is that fair?
No.
You saw it, whatever.
I think everyone has stuff to learn, and I think
That's right.
I think filmmaking is a marathon, not a sprint.
There
And
it
I
is.
think you have to go through some hurdles. What I was going to ask you was, you have a number of ideas for your second short film and doing that. What's it like being a filmmaker in this area?
It's difficult.
Why?
Well, because you can talk to a guy who says, yeah, I wash dishes, or I pump gas, or I work at the grain elevator, or whatever. They have distinctive things, and those usually are not met with disdain when you talk to that person, right? You're like, oh, grain guy? Lame. If you say that you're doing the arts in Northeast British Columbia, there's shame loaded with that. How do you feed your family? Why can you do that? You're such a lefty. You're a libtard. Whatever. Like those are things that you have said to you, because for some reason, and it still holds up here, the arts are not a viable thing for you to fill your life with, which is ridiculous. It should be absolutely the other way around. Why do you live if there is no art? There's no frickin' point.
Movies and books
Anything,
and television.
writing, poetry, chalk art.
Yeah.
It could be anything, right? If you don't have that in, like, what's the upside to living it?
Right.
So I go and I sell this guy 8 hours for backbreaking labor just to make enough to live. That right there makes me want to polish a gun with my mouth. There's no way that that's enough for a human being. You need to have something beautiful. You need to have a reason to keep going, right? And art does that, whether you're singing a song or you're writing a song, even if nobody's going to hear it, right? Who cares? I have screenplays that I've written that are, you know, half, 3/4. I'm still working on them. I'm trying to grind things. I don't write them for anybody else but me.
Right.
Right? Unless I have a really good idea, and then I bug you. And I say, what do you think is even worth going for?
And I usually say yes.
I usually do, because you like to torture me, and that's great.
I think that's great.
Because then I spend all my time doing this rather than being an active, annoying person out in the real world.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of just saving you from yourself with that. But you're also creating great stuff. And that kind of goes into my other question, because you kind of have your foot in both realms, you know, arts, and you're also a tradesman, right? You're a plumber, you've been a number of different things. Plumber, what else in terms of handyman work?
Well, mostly plumbing. Like I did my journeyman training as an apprentice under Brian Carrier. Yeah. And I worked for Brian all the way through. Did it all myself though, paid for everything myself, did all that myself. Yeah. He was knowledge, which is what I got from him, and it was great. It was a good experience, and unfortunately he passed away, and I considered him a good friend, and I miss his voice every day. I miss being able to ask him questions and do things. There is no difference between the arts and trades.
You don't think so?
There is absolutely no difference. And you know how you can tell? Go into a space where a tradesperson has actually done work. You can tell what kind of artist they are. You decide what materials you're going to use unless you're under an engineering requirement. So you can work in copper, plastic, and I can only speak to plumbing. How do you wire a machine? Is it elegant or inelegant? Is it accessible to the homeowner? All of these things are part of the art of the trades. You can get a guy to put a furnace in and it's going to be awful. You can get another person to come in to charge you the same amount, but it's going to be a thing of beauty. It's going to be something that when you have 3 or 4 beers, you tell your buddies from next door, come down, take a look at the new furnace I got put in. That's something that people brag about, believe it or not. So I really don't see that much of a difference between it. Artists do things like put these really silly shoes on that have the wood tip on them and destroy their bodies to dance. Tell me how that's different than a trade for a guy who's in a ditch all the time doing the same thing. Right? There are certain things that people feel their need to do that could be considered art, and I think they should be. Right? What was it they were saying like earlier? The mind and a parachute, they only work if they're open. That's Frank Zappa, and it's true. If you open your mind to not be siloing everything or pigeonholing everything, well, that's not art. This is not a trade. Yes, they are. The only person that's making it not is you, and you need to open your mind a little bit and think about that in a different way. Right? So, I mean, Skilled Trades BC, every year, they take the kids that are coming up and they pit them against each other in gladiatorial combat for soldering, for wiring, for carving, for woodwork. That's art, man.
It really is. And then you kind of opened my mind to that, because I was going to ask, what would you rather do? But it seems like it's one and the same almost to you.
Kind of it is. However, one pays me. The other one does not. For the most part, right? I used to get paid by doing art, which I would consider my radio show. Every day was a brand new program, completely different from the last day. There's some elements that stay the same. Everybody wants to know what the temperature is, what it's like outside. But every day you're getting a different thing, a different bit. Plumbing is kind of the same way. You can only do toilets so many ways, right? They're designed to sit on the floor.
And you can also only do so many films as well.
Yeah, but you got a choice of how you're going to, what genre. You have many
What genre of toilet?
spices that you could add in there. Oh, it could be a bidet, right?
Just tried one for the first time last month.
That's right.
Life-changing.
It is life-changing when you find out that you can sit. You know, the funny thing is, all the panic we had in the pandemic about toilet paper. Get a frickin' bidet.
Get a
Come on,
bidet.
man. Save some money.
You're all
right?
set. You're all
Look
good.
after, and it's not even just about you. It's about the family that has to be around with you. Some people don't know how to wipe properly.
They don't.
Grady, and that's why the bidet is a fantastic piece of.
The bidet.
It's European. Try it out. Be fancy.
I mean, Europeans, they're always fancy.
200 years. We're behind. Look at the Japanese toilets today. Yeah. Those things will frickin' sing to you. You feel that your tummy's upset and you don't want anybody to hear your noise, they'll play music for you. They light up. They open up.
I mean, what's there to do? But as you said, almost one and the same. They're both arts.
I think so.
And Grizz, I think you're a work of art as well. And I truly mean that. You are someone I do look up to in all aspects, not just arts, but also just as a person. You are always so caring and kind and always looking out for the little guy, and you have no fear when it comes to that, and for that I'm always truly thankful.
Well, thank you.
Whatever.
It's weird rubbing my rhubarb in public like this, but I mean, I'm not going to say no.
Well, we didn't even mention Post and Row. We're at Post and Row, the Post and Row Brewery here. It's beautiful. Post and Row obviously is a restaurant here in Dawson Creek. I would argue probably the best.
I'm going to say yes, and when you come in, they have a large selection of beverages that are, they got a brewery thing in here.
It's beautiful.
It's
here.
cool.
And they've just been fantastic holding events and fundraisers for arts and for different things. Grizz, again, this has just been a fantastic chat. It's already been an hour. Can you believe that?
Actually, no, I can't. Time always flies when you're under duress.
I was going to say with friends.
Well, and that too. But just pressure.
But one more thing I was going to ask you. Acting. When are you going to act next?
When are you going to want me to do stuff? I keep
right away.
waiting. I keep waiting for things to come my way, and so far you and Ryan and Macwood and your production house has been fantastic for me. I've done lots of stuff. Like I've been in all kinds of things. I was in Little Shop of Horrors. I played, unfortunately, because in high school I was older looking. They always cast me as the old dude. So I was Mr. Mushnick in that. I've done tons of stuff and stuff with Debbie and whatever.
But you were such a great performer. Do you ever think about producing and acting in your own stuff?
I do. And why do you think that I'm trying to get into the trades more and try to get my own business going? Because what I would like to do is fund my own productions. Rather than having to, I mean, there's nothing wrong with fundraising. It's just the people that are giving you the money want like assurances and stuff. Whereas I go into it, that $5,000 I gave you guys, that's the best money I've ever spent. I don't have to think about it. I'm not putting my thumb on you to give me what I want. I want you guys to create what you want.
You trust the artist.
Trust the artist, right? Let the baker bake, right?
Let the baker bake.
So that's kind of one of the reasons that I do the trades, is to give me a little bit of freedom, so that if you did need someone to come up, even if we're not getting paid, just to do a walk-on or do whatever, I always want to do that. I want to help you guys. And then if I'm making enough dough in my job, I don't have to worry about taking 2 days off or whatever, right?
Right.
So it just makes it easier.
It makes it easier. And Grizz, you've made this interview way easier. Put her there, partner.
All right, I will.
Thank you again for such a fantastic chat.
I appreciate your hat.
I appreciate your hat. You want to switch?
Not really, no.
Okay, mine kind of smells.
Yeah, and mine's kind of got like all my hair left in it.
Oh, me too.
It's like a woven, you can't see the lace, but there's a...
It's
like a hairpiece. Right? Theater.
William Shatner.
Ooh, I haven't been in space yet.
I mean, yet.
No.
Just yet.
I haven't really slighted any of my other people that were on an old show with me yet either.
You slighted me multiple times.
Okay, that's fair. And publicly, yes. I guess I would be Shatner-esque.
And to my face.
That's true, but that's the best way to do it.
That's the best way to do it.
It shows love.
And that has been our show here today. Thank you again to Grizz for coming onto the program. This has been On Location Dawson Creek. Would you like to come on and be a guest? Make sure you scan the QR code and fill out the form, and you too can come on Location Dawson Creek and share your story as well. I've been Grady McTavish, your host. Thanks again to Grizz. This has been On Location Dawson Creek. Make sure you stay loved and be kind. I screwed this up. Just love each other. Just love each other.
Just do it.
Just love each other. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I'm just doing weird stream things now because I can, and maybe it'll sneak by the censors. He was casting wicked radio spell.